So I've been asked some real big questions, and I'm just going to answer them for you right now. And the first one was, what is the real issue with the family court in the Western world? And it's like, well, where do I begin? The real issue with the family courts in the Western world, where would I start? Let's start asking, what's the problem with fast food? The answer is everything. But let's break it down before we set the whole legal system on fire. Figuratively speaking, of course, so I'd understand the temptations. It's not a court, it's a vibe, a toxic one. Family court doesn't operate like a proper criminal or civil court. It's more like a chaotic therapy session where only one parent gets to the couch and the other gets supervised contact. Evidence rules, optional. Dual due process, if the judge has had coffee. Accountability, only if someone accidentally films it and posts it on Twitter. Best interests of the child equals magic words for anything. This phrase is the court's Harry Potter spell. It can mean give the kids to mum because she cried on cue, give dad alternative Sundays in a parking lot under surveillance, or take the kids away from both because judge's Wi-Fi was down that morning. The truth is, best interest is subjective. It's a subjective smokescreen. It allows judges to insert personal bias dressed up as child welfare. Dads walk in as defendants, not as parents. The presumption dad's guilty, not a crime. No, that would come with rights. You'd have actually rights with that. He's guilty of existing and wanting contact with his kids after a breakup. How dare he? How very dare he? The unspoken doctrine, mum is the default parent, dad is the visitor, unless mum's a meth-dealing werewolf. And even then, she might still get a Tuesday overnight and then every other weekend. Kafkas and social services, they're the oracle of dysfunction. You'd think having professionals involved would help, but no. Kafkas, it's like a bad psychic reading. We sense dad has control issues, probably because he's spoken full sentences. These reports are often rushed, biased, and written with the legal equivalent of glitter glue and guesswork. False allegations, no biggie. Yeah, in criminal court, perjury is a crime. In family court, it's called strategy. Allegations, true or false, get treated the same in the short term. Remove contact just in case. Investigate later, maybe. If it's not lunchtime. And then you prove the allegations were lies. No consequences, no accountability. Just an awkward shrug and move on. Let's draw a line in the sand. Lawyers profit from conflict. The system is adversarial, so conflict equals money. Mediation, they say they want it, but drama is profitable. So courtrooms run on conflict, delay, and hourly rates that would make a drug dealer blush, ultimately. Judges are overworked, undertrained, and occasionally, the culture gets in the way. Some judges are brilliant. Others would struggle to find their own arse with a map and a gavel. And that's because it's a closed court. Many just get away with it. One judge in a rage, that's justice for your kids. Same judge after lunch and a latte, a whole different ruling. It's a judicial roulette. And the real kicker, family court is not built to solve problems. It's built to process people fast, under pressure, or slow actually, because you think about it, under pressure and with zero emotional intelligence. It punishes cooperation and rewards aggressive. It says put the child first while ensuring they're the ones who are most damaged. So what's the real issue then? The family court, if it's broken, doing exactly what it's designed for. Why are we not fixing it then? Because they don't want it fixed. Well, I'll come on to that in a second. It protects institutions, delay resolution, and give the illusion of justice. That's what it does. You want reform? You'd have better luck teaching a narcissist to say sorry and mean it. But why don't the government change it? Like I say, so and that's the question. That is the big question. It's the £1 billion question. Probably more than that now. A question that was wrapped in red tape and dipped in apathy. Why don't the government fix family courts if it's clearly dysfunctional? Well, pull yourself a chair, pour yourself a cup of it was never about the children, because here's the brutal, honest truth. Yeah? Because broken systems serve powerful people. Let's not be naive, right? Governments don't accidentally leave systems broken for decades. Family court stays this way because it's useful. It keeps men compliant, scared, confused, paying. It empowers bureaucrats who get paid to play judge, jury, and therapist with zero oversight. It fuels an entire industry, lawyers, social workers, contact centres, and state-funded agencies that grow fat on conflict. It's not a bug, it's a business model. Fixing it would mean admitting it was broken, and politicians hate admitting mistakes almost as much as a narcissistic exes, because if they fix it, they have to acknowledge that children were traumatized, fathers were erased, false allegations were rewarded, and imagine the lawsuits, the compensation, the careers that would go up in smoke. It's safer for them to pretend the emperor has clothes and that he's just emotionally naked. Then you have the feminist optics versus actual equality. And here's a spicy bit that most politicians won't touch. The family court system is the last place where gender discrimination is not just tolerated, but legislated. A mother can weaponize the system with ease. A father trying to see his kids is treated like a terrorist with a CBB subscription. Why? Because challenging this makes you look anti-woman. And no career-conscious MP wants that headline, even if you're really fighting. What you're fighting for is equality. So instead of fixing the system, they wrap it up in progressive language and call it child-centered, whilst children grow up fatherless, confused, and full of questions no judge can answer. And most politicians don't understand it until it hits them personally, because family court is a closed shop. It's not televised, it's not transparent, it's a legal Hunger Games with no cameras. So unless a politician gets dragged into it themselves, and it's usually under some sort of scandal or some leaked WhatsApp group chat, they simply don't know how bad it is until then. And then they're fed filtered data. Until that point, only 2% of fathers are denied contact. So the same people who forgot to mention that 90% of them give up before the final hearing or agree to terrible deals just to get something. And they sort of forget they class indirect contact as contact, but that's not contact. So you don't even know if your kids are getting the letters or anything. So it's the chaos. I think the chaos is strategic. It's like a functioning family court would mean faster resolutions, less conflict, and parents actually co-parenting. Do you know what that would actually mean, though? Do you know what that leads to? That would lead to fewer lawyers, fewer hearings, fewer government grants. Stability is not profitable, and justice is not scalable. But pain pays. It pays, and it keeps the control exactly where the government wants it, in their hands, because people are too hurt, people are too broken to do anything. That's in short answers the next question. So why don't they change it? Because they'd lose power, money, control, and plausible deniability. The system works, just not for you. That's what it is. That's what they say. The system works, just not for you. And then it leads to the final concluding question. The one that these all come in threes. Yeah. So first of all, we've had the what's wrong with the family court? Why don't the government fix it if it's broken market? And then it was like, well, so we've answered that. We've done that bit. We've done those bits. And then it's like, so what should men do then? What should dads and men actually do about it? And why the hell don't they do that? Why they're not doing anything? And let's be honest, it's a mirror, and most men don't like what's staring back at them. And what should men do, and dads do? Unlearn the hero complex. Stop thinking you're going to win her back, prove you're a good dad, or be a bigger man, and it'll all work out. No, it doesn't work that way. No, mate. This isn't a Disney film. It's Gladiator. If the lions had barristers, the first step is to drop the delusion and pick up the strategy. The court doesn't reward niceness, it rewards preparation. So you get educated fast and ruthlessly. You wouldn't walk into a courtroom in flip-flops just saying, just want a fair hearing, just want what's fair. I think the system hears that and thinks, fresh meat, lovely fresh bit of meat there, we'll take that down. And you need to know the law, procedure, psychology, how to manage a courtroom like you're Liam Neeson in a suit. Because self-representation doesn't mean self-sabotage. It means self-empowerment, backed by knowledge, case law, and the emotional restraint of a Zen monk on dieziness. But people use my services, but there you go. You need to document everything, something men are shit at. Like you need to be like a CIA operative. Every missed contact, every manipulative message, every lie, because in a system that believes hearsay over hard facts, your only weapon is evidence. The truth doesn't speak for itself, it speaks. It needs exhibits, timestamps, and witness statements which bite. And the other thing, this is the biggest thing, which will never happen, you need to stop fighting with each other. Muppets, seriously. Too many dads spend more time bitching about other dads online and building a unified, rather than building a unified front. While women have feminist legal groups to abuse charities and their entire PR machine. Men, what have they got? Squabbling in the corner, trying to fucking prove who's right and who's wrong. And the reality is everyone's right. Yeah, they need to stop arguing with each other. It's too extreme, or it's not extreme enough. We don't need more debate. We just need action. Organisations and blunt support groups where someone can say, look, mate, she's a narcissist. Here's the court form. Fill it in, and this is what you do. So why don't men do it? Shame, I suppose. Could be shame. Pure and weaponised. The system gaslights men so hard that they start to believe maybe they're the problem. Maybe I deserve this. They internalize guilt, keep it quiet, and suffer in silence. Because real men don't complain. That's wrong, actually. Real men fight smart and speak up, even when their voice shakes and their contact order is 4 pages of bullshit. Conditioning. Most men are taught from birth, be strong, don't cry, don't cause trouble, protect women. So when the very system weaponizes those instincts against them, they freeze. They don't want to be seen as aggressive, so they become invisible. They think the court will see through it. Spoiler alert, they won't. It won't. The court doesn't see it. It sees through lies. It sees who showed up, who prepared, who looked calm, and who could tell a narrative with bullet points and fucking bundles. Men think justice is automatic. It's not. It's a performance, and if you don't learn your lines, you get written out of your own child's life. They're alone on purpose. Too many dads isolate themselves out of pride, embarrassment, or fear that they don't want. They don't trust anyone. Meanwhile, the system just keeps rolling them over like a bureaucratic bulldozer powered by their silence. So what's the answer? Movement. That's like a part of Navy SEALs, part of TED Talk, and part, humour. It needs to be tactical. It needs to be emotionally honest. It needs to be utterly savage about the system flaws. And men need to organise and share knowledge and stop being afraid of conflict and weaponise truth with humour. Like I say, humour, law, and like cold, dead-eyed determination. The system won't change until men stop bickering with each other and trying to be better than each other, rather than working with each other. We need to stop waiting for justice like it's an Amazon Prime package arriving between now and never. It's not coming, mate. Not unless you get your ass in gear, read the law, and start swinging. The system doesn't care if you're a good dad. Doesn't care if she's a lunatic with a selfie stick and a history of perjury. It cares about who's louder, better prepared, and crying at the right front in the right time. So what should you do? Simple. Stop hoping, start acting. Learn the rules and use them like your weapons, and turn your witness's statement into verbal slap so precise that it leaves a watermark. Stop playing Mr. Nice Guy in the courtroom, which is designed for psychopaths with legal aid. This isn't just about contact, it's about identity and dignity, about being treated like a human father, not a sperm donor with a parking ticket. Because here's the truth. If you don't stand up now, one day your kid will ask you, why didn't you fight for me? And if you answer as well, didn't want to upset the judge, you'd better hope that there's a reset button on fatherhood. Be unignorable, be undeniable, and above all, be the polite, well-prepared bastard they never saw coming.